When your baby starts to move,
No.
they never stop. You need a diaper that can keep up. That's why we created Pampers Cruisers 360 Fit, the only diaper with a 360
Well, let's cut that off and let's go live. What? Am I not logged into my Spotify? Bruh, that's a... Buy Pampers Huggies, guys. Gosh darn it. I don't think I could sell a sponsorship package to to Pampers. Oh no. Oh no. What's up, chat? Happy Monday. It's December 28, 2020. Got a 5 games, a late lock. There's already tons of news. It's gonna be, if you guys happen to be new to NBA DFS, or even if you're suspecting that, hey, yesterday all those NFL kids that won money, they were gonna, I could play basketball, I could play LeBron James. Boy, oh boy, will they be in for a shock if this is their first night of experiencing NBA, because man, oh man, have we got some news today. Yeah, lots of news. We got Kyrie out, we got KD out, we got some Blake Griffin, Derrick Rose. There's a bunch of people out. That's going to make things a little bit interesting. It's going to give people that are priced below where they should be priced, considering the potential responsibility that they have today, and give them an opportunity to go above and beyond. And, of course, we're going to see that play out in several games tonight. I'm Gun, twitter.com/GundackerSports. We are live on the YouTube an hour later than we did the streams last week. The reason for that, shorter slate, later lock. I definitely, on the north side of the new year, I'm going to have a more concrete schedule laid out. I definitely don't want you guys to ever have to guess what time we're going to go live. But give me a little bit of slack because of the holidays. things got wonky, right? We got a day off for Christmas. We got a morning, noon slate, a bunch of giant slates. It's all gonna level out, and then we'll January smoothing it out a little bit. Also, probably start multi-streaming again. Probably we'll be able to find the stream on. I'll probably put it on my Twitch channel again, and then maybe back on Facebook. But what's up, live chat? How are we doing? Happy Monday afternoon. Hope you guys all had an incredible Christmas weekend. I hope you guys all did well in NFL yesterday. Justin Sports, Sway McThunder, Jeffrey Abbey, Dan Keppert, Crispy says, "What up, Gun Power? Got to wait. Mad news is happening." Oh, is it the show? Nice. People still play Fortnite, says Paul. I still play Fortnite, but I haven't played as much since the NBA's been back. Sorry about that ad. I don't know how that happened. I hope I wouldn't get in trouble for playing the ad, but yeah. Mark my words, the Hawks are making the playoffs. I think a fully healthy Hawks team in the East, sure. I don't see why not. I mean, that's not saying a whole lot, assuming that I understand the playoffs rules this year or whatever. I think if that team's healthy, they have the talent in the East at least. What up, Josh? 50 cal Rick. With KD Kyrie out, LeVert will be highly owned, but might have to eat that. I agree. Chioza or Taylor. Don't they also have Tyler Johnson? Or is that what you meant, Taylor? What up, Chronic? Frank Bishop, going to be an annoying cash day. I think so, too. If you guys didn't play yesterday, like if you were the type to just play NFL and you missed out on last night's slate, last night was pretty wonky, too. Anthony Davis was out. Karl-Anthony Towns was kind of rolled out after main slate lock. It got a little fishy. Joel Embiid rolled out. So that created some chaos. I mean, here we are less than a week into the NBA season, and we're seeing some of that DFS stuff pop up. So it's annoying on the forefront if you're just trying to chill. But if you're trying to hustle and grind, I mean, this environment creates an opportunity to be more profitable if you're staying on top of the news, right? Looking in the Discord yesterday, people were switching to Ben Simmons with Embiid out, and without Karl-Anthony Towns switching to Naz Reid, and then even taking advantage on like the showdown or whatever, where those guys will still garner ownership. So it's annoying from a hassle standpoint, but from a grind profit standpoint, as sharp as players are these days with projections and so many content providers out there, that after lock news, that's where the edge is right now. So if you guys got the time, these slates in the NBA, they'll give you an opportunity to capitalize on some of that late news, you know. What up, Edwin, Logan, Jason? LBJ was a bum. Yeah, but that was kind of a blowout, right? Tyler Johnson. All right. Today, we are going to be joined by everyone's favorite hot take Middle Eastern dude from Sri Lanka, Raj. Yo, how we doing?
Another day, another grind. The slate should be fun. The slate's a bit of a wild one.
Should be fun. There's going to be lots of landmines on the value-wise, but also going to see some elevated ownerships, and this can be one of those nights where it's a lot of that elevated ownership, such as the Karis LeVerts, I'm just going to have to eat. Leverage, and by leverage, I mean just maybe almost lock button them. So,
cash line going to be like 330.
Shoot, yesterday I think Sid posted a screenshot. He had 400 points on FanDuel and wasn't even the top 100 whatever contest he was in. So,
hashtag soft pricing.
Is it? You can't fault soft pricing on scratches. You just can't.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, with the late scratches, yeah, that kind of happened yesterday. Forgot about that one.
By the way, chat, I'm not drinking water. I have this this Yeti cooler cup. It's a Whataburger Yeti. I got it from Taco a couple years ago on Christmas. I still use it. It keeps my coffee warm. And I'm drinking coffee today because for some reason it's cold and rainy, man. You're in Canada, right? What's the temp up there?
I don't know. We got snow on the ground. You know, like today's probably like -4, -3 degrees Celsius.
Volumes are way off. I could turn Raj up. That's about all I can do.
Check 1, 2.
Yeah. I don't know, chat. What do you guys think? Everyone else think that the volumes are way off? I'm using my, gain down. Anybody else having volume issues? My man's volume is on another level. Oh, Raj is too loud. Okay. I can handle that.
Deal with it.
No. All right. Just start saying annoying stuff, aka talk normally.
You should let me love you. Let me be the
Okay.
one to.
All right, shut up.
Hey.
Chad, I put him at halfway. Is that any better? Actually, maybe I just put him at 100% on Discord, and then I'll turn him up a little bit on. Still faint. All right, more stuff. Raj needs to go down. Gun needs to go up. I can't really go up anymore. Say stuff, Raj. Stay Raj.
And it's all because of you. Want to, but let's go. Banger alert.
Can't hear gun.
Oh. Sometimes you can't hear stuff through the fire. You know what I'm saying?
No. Never that. See properties. Microphone Yeti. Should be. Raj, that's a no for me, dog. Can't hear gun. Can we still not hear me? If I'm all up on the mic, can you still not hear me? If not, I'll just switch to the headset. But I got this fancy mic with the elbow that moves. I want to use it.
Bang, bang.
Man, 70 of you guys hanging out already. I appreciate that. Maybe I'm just not talking loud enough. I got to wake up. Let this coffee kick in. Volume is fine.
I hear
now.
you perfectly fine.
We're good. I know you do, but it's a whole different thing. I'm using the headset mic for you. I'm using the Yeti for the stream. And, yeah. That'd be good on my end. We're good. All right, let's break the slate. Let's get into it, guys. 6:30 p.m. Central, 7:30 p.m. Eastern is the tip-off of the first game. So, it's a little later than week one. So just account for that, right? An extra 30 minutes if you got used to the 7 p.m. locks. Game number one tonight, the Detroit Pistons at the Atlanta Hawks. Your projected starting five for the Pistons: Killian Hayes, DeLon Wright, Jeremy Grant, Sekou Doumbouya, and Mason Plumlee taking on Trae Young, Cam Reddish Jr., DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, Clint Capella. We got a 223 total, 10-point spread in favor of the home team, Atlanta Hawks. Have we seen the Hawks at 10-point favored in a while? It's a new year, baby. Capella looking to make his debut here. We also might see Gallinari and Rajon Rondo in the mix. So this Hawks team, I think, is going to be kind of awkwardly set price-wise to kind of guess if you throw in Capella, you throw in Rondo into the mix, is everyone still going to be great fantasy plays, especially considering the fact there's a 10-point spread. Because of how deep this slate is for value, I think the knee-jerk reaction for a lot of the field here is just kind of be cautious with the Hawks. So I think Trae Young is just, that 20% guy, right? You play him, whatever. Trae Young's going to probably get next to no ownership considering James Harden's on the slate. I guess Kyrie got scratched, so maybe I do like Ja Morant. I can see Trae Young, especially on FanDuel. He's the most expensive point guard. Everyone trying to get like a Harden or Jokic in the mix. I can see Trae Young falling through the cracks here, and I think no matter what, like his upside is still there, even with the Rondo in the mix. I don't think that's going to eat at his minutes per se. But I think Clint Capella being in, you might start questioning, John Collins, maybe rebound potential, something like that. But I think for the Hawks, I'm just kind of considering Young, and I don't really think I need to dumpster dive for value on the Hawks side because I think the rest of the slate's going to give me value. So if I miss by guessing, whether or not Cam Reddish or Kevin Huerter or Bogdan Bogdanovic was one of those guys drops 40, well, I could probably hit a Pistons value in this game or even a Nets value. So talking about the Detroit Pistons, Blake Griffin's out, Derrick Rose is out. Who does that kind of help us out? Well, Sekou Doumbouya probably going to get a bump here. He may or may not start. We might see Jeremy Grant slide to the 4. The 3 guys, I was working on a core pick video for DraftKings today, and I ended up with 3 Pistons and felt fine. This entire Pistons team, especially on DraftKings, when you isolate just Detroit, this entire team is under 6K playing the Atlanta Hawks, right? Last year, no questions asked, we're clicking plus signs next to these names. The 3 names I like the most, really the 2 names I like the most. I still think Mason Plumlee's in a good spot. Capella might beef up the matchup a little bit, but I still think the Hawks going to play at a pace where Mason Plumlee has been a point per minute no matter what. But maybe that's all he is a point per minute. But Jeremy Grant, big time game in that double overtime game against Cleveland. Obviously 43 minutes, not normal, but 31 to 34 minutes without Blake Griffin. Very plausible. Double-digit shot attempts, plenty of peripherals to be had in this matchup. So I think he's a guy that can easily push 40 fantasy points, and he's probably underpriced for the matchup. And then the other guy I like is Josh Jackson. We kind of talked about him on the last slate. With me and Jake, I ended up having a little too much Josh Jackson that night. He only got 19 minutes, but he was still a point per minute, and we've seen that trend in the first two games. We've seen it in preseason as well. I was even reading about him after the last game, and there was a very, very proud beat writer thinking Josh Jackson could be a sneaky sixth man of the year guy. I don't think that's true. I think that's Karis LeVert lock. But Josh Jackson is a point per minute producer, and I think now that you take off Derrick Rose off that second unit, expand those minutes a little bit, I like Josh Jackson at 4,200 to potentially be a sneaky 30 fantasy point guy as well. So you can give me Jackson, you can give me Jeremy Grant. I'm digging it. I do think Mason Plumlee is a solid stock and stuffer, points per dollar, under 6K. I definitely would not be surprised if he got me 6X on the nose or even more. And then once we start digging past those three, I think that's where you're going to get a little bit more creative and a little bit more risk averse. I do think Sekou Doumbouya, who is probable, is a guy that you can throw into the mix as a hopeful point per minute guy at 3,400. Kind of feels like, I'm not going to say Eric Pascal, but he's just one of those sub 4K guys in a great spot against the Atlanta Hawks. So I definitely don't mind using him in my risky value pool. If Okafor doesn't play right now, he did not practice Sunday. If Okafor doesn't play, you take out him, you take out Blake Griffin. I think that's a stronger set of minutes for Jeremy Grant. So, and I think that would backdoor help Sekou Doumbouya as well. Killian Hayes is the one that's a little bit intriguing to me. The minutes have not been there for him just yet. This is one of their top, prospect guards at 4,200. When I look at the first couple of games of him, even though the minutes have not been there, the usage has. He's exceeded 20% usage rate in every game thus far. 22% last game, 21%, 24, 25 in preseason. So the usage is still there. Anything over 20% under 5K, I'm a little bit curious. And if you take out Derrick Rose in the mix, could that 20 minutes push, 30 minutes? I think it's very possible. I'm not pushing the issue here just because I think the slate is not void of value. But those are the names that kind of sticking out. I know I just kind of went on a rant here, but man, last year, if you gave me a sub 6K team against the Hawks, I'm loading them up. Obviously, there is a blowout risk here. I think this might be the largest spread on the slate. But yeah, I don't know. What you know with this one, Rods?
I think DeLon Wright's the best player on the Pistons team. Jeremy Grant, he's going to take his shots, but he kind of struggles to get his own shot sometimes. They go hit the threes when you get it to him, but getting his own shot, a little bit of a struggle. So I think DeLon Wright definitely going to control this game, point guard position. Hayes is a rookie, definitely struggling a little bit. Not the greatest playmaker. So DeLon Wright's definitely my guy here. So give me some of him. Give me Grant. Again, he's probably going to have to chuck 20 shots. With no Blake Griffin, he's probably going to have to get all the rebounds, with Plumlee being guarded by Capella and Grant maybe seeing John Collins. So I think got to love Grant. Got to love DeLon Wright. Not in love with Hayes. I get the minutes 4,200, but with the Brooklyn value, might not get to a ton of him. You mentioned Doumbouya. 3,400. Yeah, Doumbouya. 3,400. I mean, his expected minutes 25 maybe. Get there for you 25, 30. But at 3,400, I mean, you can't. A 20 is not going to get you there to win tournament. You definitely need like a 35 from him, maybe even push a 40 with the way this slate's breaking down. So again, you keep him in the pool. If getting him means you get Harden and Jokic, I get it. If you think those guys have massive upside, but yeah, those are my guys there in Detroit. Plumlee at his price 5,700. It seems like he's getting closer and closer to his ceiling. Yes, he has that baby triple-double upside, like last game, 6 points, 5 assists, 9 rebounds. Again, no Blake Griffin, maybe a bump in assists, bump in rebounds. He can get you that 11 point, 10 assists, 10 rebound. Wouldn't be shocked. A little some of him. But the Atlanta side, just Trae Young. They're fully healthy now, essentially. Not going to touch anyone else.
Yeah, so I think if I'm writing a pencil, DeLon Wright, Jeremy Grant, Josh Jackson. I may not even get to Killian Hayes, but man, this would be the spot. How much Trae Young in 20 lineups?
I want to just say 20%. It seems like the cop-out answer. I mean, so what are the odds he outscores? You have Davis, LeBron, Jokic, Lillard, Harden.
Yeah, I mean, it's low. And plus, you give him that 10-point spread, so...
Yeah.
I think if you're making 20 or less, you have to make some extremely strong stands. It's easy to get oversaturated with the value that's on today's slate, and I just don't think you just don't get results orientated. I think there's gonna be a lot of guys pushing 40 to 60% own. Heck, on that last Rocket slate, I saw Christian Wood was 72% in my FanDuel tournaments. Back in my day, that's like 50-50 ownerships. I think if you make that strong stand on Trae Young on DraftKings, I see it like, we're going Harden, we're going Jokic, guys like that, and I also like Ja Morant. We'll get to that. So I don't know, chat. What are you guys thinking about this one, man? Over 90 of you guys already hanging out. Where are we at on like 17? Can we get to 50 likes during a live stream? That would make my life. Let me see what you guys got in chat. Sensei Jay, what up, Jay? Edwin Logan, I'm a Piston fan. Y'all don't want Killian Hayes right now. I'm with that. Bryant Garcia likes Josh Jackson. Chronic says Grant usage is going to be 30+%. I don't know if his usage will be 30+%. But I think his point per minute. I like usage is somebody that like usage. By the way, chat is basically just the end of a possession. So I think we picked that up for like a DeLon Wright or a Killian Hayes or somebody like that. And I even think Josh Jackson to an extent, but I think Jeremy Grant's just going to be huge points per minute. So I'm in love with that as stock and stuff on both sides. And one of my favorite things about Jeremy Grant, and rightfully so because he's playing it, he's a small forward on FanDuel. You know who else is a small forward on FanDuel? We'll get to that. Karis LeVert is a small forward on FanDuel. A small forward is usually like the shallowest cesspool. Either you play LeBron or Giannis, or then you punt. But man, there's some options today. I'm happy. I like Grant. What up, father-son sport cards? I like all the Hawks personally. Man, I don't know. At those prices, I don't know. I like Trae Young, and that's like I still think there's a range of outcomes that John Collins is fine, right? I think this Detroit Pistons front court is still enough that you can get off on. And I guess if you really look at it, Clint Capella's cheap, but I don't know that his minutes are going to be anything extravagant on his debut. He's been out for a while, so I guess there is a chance that Collins.
He is the same price as Mason Plumlee. I'll give him that on DraftKings. They're the same price, so.
So I like Plumlee more per minute.
Yeah, I guess the usage.
Like Capella is more of the Capella's not gonna create his own shot. Not that Plumlee's like elite, but Capella is like a dunk guy, right? Dunk, block, whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
especially
jump shots or free throws from Capella. Like it's not.
Yeah, I mean, on this team, I wouldn't be shocked if he takes only 5 or 6 shots. I mean, Collins is gonna chuck a little bit. Hunter, Gallinari, Bogdanovich. I mean, there's a lot of chuckers on this team.
Yeah. What up, Earth to Air? Matthew P says SGA, Grant, or Jokic, and Josh Jackson. That's a good one. I like the floor in the first, but the upside in the second. Sexy. Jeff Green with KD out. We're gonna talk about that game in just a moment. Only the old heads remember when Chronic and Gunn used to be the hottest DFS stream on YouTube. Yo, their DFS is so saturated on YouTube, and I'm not complaining. I think it's a great thing. It's a beautiful thing to see so many channels with people having the same passions as you as sport, fantasy sports, and whatever. And I just love it all. But yeah, there's a lot more DFS content out there now than there was when me and Chronic were doing night streams. Remember we used to have like 10 people on a Google Hangout, be like hundreds of live viewers, wake up, the video gets 2,000, 3,000 views. Man, the good old days. What up, James? What's up, Gun? So happy basketball's back. Just take Grant and Jackson. I'm with that. I'm going to play Grant on GPPs. Not sure if he fails or if someone else scores him. Not surprised. Yeah. I mean, sure. But like matchup and logistically, he should thrive just fine at this price point.
This is essentially like the best matchup in the league. Like Atlanta is like what? Atlanta, Washington.
So I think Atlanta takes a step forward from last year, adding the pieces that they added. You know,
I do too, but I mean, I feel like everyone in their starting lineup is a below-average defender except for Capella. Collins is not good. Hunter is below average.
That's fair.
Gallo, these are just guys who don't play defense.
Bring back Camp DFS. All right, let's move on to the next game. We're not gonna 10-point spread there. Play the game. Memphis Grizzlies at the Brooklyn Nets. Project starting 5 for the Nets. Ja Morant, Grayson Allen, Dylan Brooks, Kyle. The Andersons got tickets to the game. How'd they get tickets? Jonas Valanciunas taking on Karis LeVert, Landry Shamet, Joe Harris, Jeff Green, DeAndre Jordan. That is just a guesstimate. That Nets lineup definitely looking a little bit different than it did yesterday. And that stunner against the Charlotte Hornets, by the way. No Kyrie Irving, no Kevin Durant. We'll see if DeAndre even suits up. I don't know what Steve Nash is doing there, but it's a 230 total. And the last time I looked, the Nets were favored by 4. They were 7.5 this morning when I had put the lineup in before the KD news. But this is a high total. We know Grizzlies going to push the pace. And much like the Detroit Pistons, now we look at this Brooklyn team take out Kyrie Durant. Outside of Karis LeVert, this entire Nets team is under 6K. So that's what I mean by this slate is not void of value, and even Karis LeVert likely an 8K player in this spot last year, right? You put him against the Memphis Grizzlies, he's going to lead the team in usage and it might push 30+%. So he's going to be probably the most trendy play on either site. Just because of the opportunity cost. And then it's just kind of trying to figure out the pieces around Karis LeVert to make it happen. Joe Harris, I think if you give this team an implied total of 115 points, is Joe Harris somebody that's underpriced, right? I still think this guy is like, he's like JJ Redick in terms of like the shots got to come to him.
A white guy that can shoot the three.
But like, yeah, he's the best. He's the best three-point shooter in the league. I think Davis Bertans might have beat him in terms of percentage, but he's still perennially one of the best three-point shooters in the league. So now if I give the Nets 115 points, I take out KD and Kyrie, am I giving Joe Harris 15 shot attempts at 4,600? Am I giving him 20 shot attempts at 4,600? And is that enough for like a scoring-dependent guy to get me there? Jokingly enough, he did get 7 boards in the Golden State game, and then in the last game of the playoffs last year against the Raptors, he had like a double-double with rebounds. But at 4,600, I think you can introduce Joe Harris into the player pool, and I think there's meat on the bone at that price point. I do worry about a true tournament ceiling on this slate. Like I feel like we're talking 8 to 10x value on some of these 4K guys. I don't know if Harris has that. He likely would need 20-25 real points, but he's introduced into my player pool. But past LeVert and Joe Harris, I think we start getting a little bit creative. Taurean Prince is a guy that is more defensive than anything, but he's almost bare bones mint on DraftKings. You might see some minutes going his way. Jared Allen could pick up some slack if there's a downtick in minutes for DeAndre Jordan and they need some scoring or something like that. This is a pace that really kind of favors Jared Allen, right? Fast break, open dunk, stuff like that. I think Jared Allen could be a back pocket tournament play. Timothy Luwawu saw deep minutes in the bubble towards the end of the bubble last year. He was able to be efficient in terms of a fantasy point per minute in those games. And then, like, is Landry Shamet. There's a guy that when he was on the Clippers, we just never played.
Not playing Landry Shamet. Stop.
I mean, a different team.
We're asking about he's not
115 point total, right? 119 maybe. Somebody's got to take these shots. Like these players on new teams and different schemes, you have to like realize they're not what they once were, right? He's not hidden behind studs like he was in LA, right? So Shamet could be a guy that goes out there and gets you 25-30. I'm just saying. What do you do with the Nets after the obvious LeVert and the curious case of Joe Harris?
Yeah, I think LeVert, I mean, he's one of those guys you can kind of decide, are you 100%, 80%, 60%? LeVert, Harris. I like Jared Allen. I know, again, DeAndre Jordan, not a spring chicken. I think he might not see the minutes he's used to. So you give Jared Allen maybe 33, 35 minutes at 5,800. He can definitely get there for you. You mentioned TLC, Jeff Green. I mean, if I was going to rank those guys, we know Jeff Green's been in the league a lot. I think you probably have to go TLC. We saw the upside last year. But Taurean Prince probably sees more minutes than those guys.
Maybe, but like Prince was never like an offensive juggernaut. But
he's the peripheral guy.
Cheap.
Yeah, he's cheap. 3,100. So is TLC again. Okay, TLC is probably the third option on this team right now. TLC is third option, so give me some of him. I'm not playing a lot of Shamet. I mean, he just shoot 8 threes last game, which is nice.
I think you're sleeping on the potential of Shamet. Like, I just think it's easy to write off these guys that we've never considered because they were just like 10th options on a team, right? Like
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
Just not a whole
Even
lot.
like Bruce Brown. Remember when he was in like Detroit playing 35 minutes?
A
Like
couple of games.
there are some NBA players here that might get a different role. I
just don't want to get too heavy on these Brooklyn, like dig too deep. Like what you have a LeVert, Joe Harris is probably going to chuck 20 times.
Mm-hmm.
Give me those two and add in a TLC or a Jeff Green.
So
Jared Allen.
I just want to say I don't think Joe Harris is like a stone cold lock by any stretch of the imagination. I think even with 20 real points, he might be like an okay tournament player for the way this slate is set up. He would have to have some peripherals in the mix.
I'm hoping he falls in the peripherals because it is Memphis. Again, running up and down the court, fall into a couple of rebounds, a couple of assists. But again, I mean, next to LeVert, if Joe Harris takes less than 20 shots, this game might be shot. With no Dinwiddie. You know what I mean? Dinwiddie's out too. It's not just Kyrie.
That's why I'm saying I think you're sleeping on Landry Shamet. Like I think
could be.
But
Memphis has give me all the Ja Morant. Give me all the Ja Morant today.
So this morning, when I had written a video for Core Plays this morning, it was 3 Pistons, Ja Morant, and SGA. That was before we knew Kyrie was out or Kevin Durant was out. But I'm with you there. I think Ja Morant is still a little bit too cheap. And I think it's very possible that even with all this value, these 8K guards like SGA, like Ja Morant, kind of slipped through the wayside. Even we talked about 9K, 10K in Trae Young. Ja Morant's out there pushing the pace and assuming a lot of usage, 20-plus shot attempts in the first 2 games. On this slate, like if I substitute a Ja Morant SGA instead of getting like a Harden and a couple of punts or Harden and Jokic and a couple of punts, because I don't think you're gonna have a whole lot of Harden, Jokic, Morant because you're still gonna jam in LeVert and stuff like that. I have to get that big boy games, right? I have to get that 50-plus. So if he just gives me that 40, like it's cool per dollar, but I need a little bit more. But I agree. Ja Morant does lead the Grizzlies for me, and I still think he has meat on the bone at this price. I actually felt like this morning I kind of preferred him against like a KD and a Kyrie because he does seem to show up against the stars, and maybe this is a little less exciting. But still a lot of meat on the bone at that price point. Looking over on FanDuel, Dillon Brooks, $3,700, a contrast to his price point on DraftKings. I'm going to pull up his DraftKings just because it's a little bit easier to kind of show what he's been doing. But 20-plus shot attempts in the last game, 14 in game 1, 29 and 33. So now we go over to FanDuel. Dillon Brooks is a $3,700 shooting guard, $200 above min price in this opportunity. I feel like this is an egregious era. And I'm just going to capitalize on it. Yeah, he's a little bit more scoring dependent, but I don't need you can have 20 real points now and be okay play, right? At 3,700. So I love the opportunity on Dillon Brooks. The opportunity cost, the risk reward is very low to very high. So I like him quite a bit. Looking around, Jonas Valanciunas 7.277. I think no one's really going to get to a 7K center today if it's Jokic or if it's one of these Nets guys or even the Plumlees of the world. So just like if you're making 150, maybe I cap him at 5% because there's a range of outcomes where he's fine. And then looking at this out list for the Grizzlies, the Anthony Melton out, Jaren Jackson still out. So Melton, I think's I think Melton has played a game this season. So I think that's one of the bigger ones in terms of opening up a few more minutes. He played 25 minutes against San Antonio, so I think that solidifies Morant. But also we're seeing those minutes go to like a Grayson Allen. I don't have a high hopes and high expectations on that, but I think it's there. I think Dillon Brooks and Ja Morant are the two that I'm gravitating to first. Behind the Grizzlies here, 25 minutes of Brandon Clark against the Brooklyn Nets front court. This becomes a lot more similar to last year's Nets, and last year's Nets were one of the most porous teams against centers. Maybe Brandon Clark is one of those cheap shots at 30 fantasy points for a really, really economically favorable price point, and you can put him at 4 spots: power forward, center, forward, util on the DraftKings lineup. 20 and 26 minutes his first 2 games. I don't mind him as a deep field tournament shot, but give me Dillon Brooks, give me Ja Morant versus LeVert.
I like Kyle Anderson early in the day. He's the guy that does a little bit of everything for them. Plays the minutes. Again, should be a pace-up game. Obviously, with the value, not not as in love with him, but I wouldn't be shocked if at 5,100 he puts up if he outscores like a Jeremy Grant or a Joe Harris.
Chronic says gun if you don't mention TLC. We talked about TLC, especially coming into the season last year. You had some strong bubble games for fantasy purposes. Couple minutes in the first few games. I still think people forget how deep this Nets rotation actually can still be, even taking 3 people out. This is like the deepest team in the league. Luwalu's fine at 3,100 on DraftKings. I think if we put in 25 to 30 minutes on him, he does a little bit of everything to make it happen. So I'm definitely a fan of him as a back pocket play. But until I see like the confirmed starting lineup, I'm a little bit hesitant to just kind of guess what's going to happen, right? Because right now I got Jeff Green there, but that could easily be Taron Prince. We could still see like DeAndre Jordan be like a surprise or something, like Jared Allen starts or something like crazy like that. I think Steve Nash could do so much stuff with this lineup, taking out Dinwiddie, Kyrie, and KD. Let's see what else we got in the live chat before we move on. Mike Gray says Grayson Allen will play a ton of minutes with Melton out. I kind of like that. Frank Bishop, Cash is going to be stupid tonight. I hate slates like this. If you don't see a flame next to someone's name on your team, just go ahead and close the browser. You ain't winning nothing. It's going to be tough. Yeah, Dylan Brooks on FanDuel AD. Really, really, really cheap. Kyle Anderson's a guy I can get behind him with that. Taylor says, hey, Gun, building 20 lines on an optimizer. Any rules or pointers to throw my way? So, being a 5-game slate, especially a slate like this where there's going to be obscene chalk, I think you make stronger risk-reward stances because there's going to be more elevated ownership than usual. Guys like Karis LeVert might push 50+% own. I think in 20 entries, guys like that, I need to find some type of leverage. So whether that be to just lock him in and roll with the punches or full fade him. So I think I would lock in Karis LeVert without question mark today. But I would probably find a couple of guys that just seem like fail-proof chalk. And if I want to show results in 20 lineups, just be even more aggressive in the field if possible. And I think Karis LeVert's that guy for me. I just don't see a way down from 6'3", 6'6". I mean, I was literally paying AK for him last year, and like this pace, this matchup, everything's there for me. So I would probably find yourself maybe 3 or 4 guys to go 70% on in 20 lineups, and let that be your core, and then don't get too diverse with your value, and don't get too crazy with your value, right? In 20 lineups, there's some value out there that could hit 30, 40, but those guys just still hit 8 to 12. Try to be as confident as you can with these value guys that you're playing. I'm not sure which site you're playing on, but maybe maybe don't get too cute with like I don't want to say PJ Tucker as an example, but like you know what I mean. Like the Nets, I think are a great example. I think there's going to be some Nets value like Tyler Johnson or Chioza, guys like that could just still drop 15. Like I really think your value has to hit today to get you where you need to go. Fading Harden in tournaments and going balanced could win you some stuff today. Man, that's what I thought the other night. And then he got overtime, and I was like, fudge, him and Christian Wood. I mean, trust me, I was at the field on both of them, but it was just like still some of my balance lineups were so stacked. But that night was a bigger slate. I think it was 9. It was either 9 or 12 games, something like that. It was bigger slate. These shorter slates, it's harder to be that contrarian on the balance lineups, especially today, because there's not a lot of 8, 9K guys that you would want to substitute a guy like Harden with. Alex, Jared Allen, DeAndre Jordan, or Harris as the third net. I like the thought of Jared Allen. I really do. I think a fast-paced matchup,
great
a lot of fast break options or opportunities, a lot of dunks coming his way. I definitely think, especially in it's a back-to-back, right? Maybe DeAndre plays a little less on a back-to-back.
I think they're just keeping it in to have like bodies because they're low on bodies.
They're not that low, but maybe they're low on bigs. They're still really, really deep, like really deep. Any chance Tyus Jones sees run, he can go off with minutes. Without D'Anthony Melton, and Grayson Allen has been known to get in foul trouble, I think that's very possible. But we are kind of stitching together what ifs and what ifs, right? If the field has 50, I'm having 100. On Levert, that's kind of where I'm at. But that's in 20 lineups. I think in 150, I'm not going to have 100% of one guy. But in 20 lineups, yeah. Morant, Levert, and Valanciunas, yep. What up, Gunn, and I guess Raj? Ja and Levert will be core plays for me. I love Ja. I don't know if he'll be a core play, but it's a solid correlation play to having 100% Levert. But I still think a good Ja Morant game could just be 40 to 45 fantasy points, and I'm not sure that's going to cut the mustard on this slate. So I wouldn't core Ja Morant, but I think he's really, really fine. I love him nonetheless, but I wouldn't necessarily have as much Levert, right? If Denver blows out the Rockets, don't those guys literally have no choice but to play with only 9 healthy players? I mean, the backups do. And at this point, I don't even know if they care about I don't know. It's kind of weird to project that game because it can go any which way. But yeah, they have very few bodies in uniform, so some of those guys are just gonna have to eat minutes. All right, let's get on to the next game. Yo, 130 plus live viewers, man. Help me out with the thumbs up. We're at 35. We're trying to break 50 on a live stream. One time for the one time. Next game on the docket, the Utah Jazz taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Your projected starting 5 for the Jazz. Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Bojan Bogdanovic, Royce O'Neal, Rudy Gobert taking on SGA, George Hill, Lou Dort, Darius Bazley, and Al Horford. A 219 total and a 9-point spread in the favor of the visiting team, Utah Jazz. So much like the Pistons and the Nets, outside of SGA, this entire Thunder team is 6K or less. I really think this is getting wonky. Raj, this weekend we talked about DraftKings pricing versus FanDuel pricing, and I was like, man, DK is super tight this weekend. Today is super loose. And SGA, I love, by the way. Utah right now, after a couple game sample size, or I think 15th in the league in pace. I'm not going to overrate or overweight to pace through first couple games because it's so dual dependent on both teams playing, right? But there was a lot of murmur about Utah being a more fast-paced team, shooting more threes. So I think that stands to reason. Also, OKC came into the season as a really good defensive team, and I think they made some changes, losing Chris Paul, losing Steven Adams, Gallo to an extent. That maybe they shake up their situation a little bit more. SGA, we knew, would assume the most usage on the team. He's going to lead this team. But past him, I thought there was a lot of opportunity for guys to step up and be great fantasy plays. The other night, I had a ton of Darius Bazley and Lou Dort, and they got there for me. Now, Bazley has moved up to almost 6K, but he's still a guy that I think could point per minute, and I think he likely is the next man up in terms of the big to carry the team. And I like that point guard, power forward correlation when scripting. He only had a 16.5% usage rate in that game against the Hornets, but was able to do just enough. 12 shot attempts. 5 of them were 3-point attempts. He missed 4 of them. A double-double with rebounds. There was just enough there to satisfy the price point. I think maybe not this game because the Utah front court maybe doesn't just give out rebounds like that. But he's somebody I'm keeping in my mind, and I'm hoping he stays cheap going forward. And then Lou Dort's 4,300. Here's a guy I think could just straight up outscore Joe Harris in a ownership leverage pivot. 12 shot attempts in 35 minutes against Charlotte. Kind of did a little bit of everything in the stat sheet, but really looked like a potential second scorer to SGA. And we saw a big game from him in the playoffs as well. So I do think that's in him in terms of having that fantasy point upside behind him. He played, 34 minutes in that last game? Yeah, so I'll put him in my back pocket as well at 4,300. Again, these are all just kind of like pivot ideas in my mind just because this whole team is rather cheap. Al Horford in the preseason was one of the guys that had the second most usage on the team. In that last game, he got 25 fantasy points. I think he actually won the 100K or the million.
He was in the 100K winning lineup.
100K winning lineup. He only had a 9% usage rate in that game. Just took 5 shot attempts. But in the preseason, heck, in that last game in the preseason, he had a 30% usage rate. So I don't want to overreact or underreact to one-game sample sizes. But maybe we look for him to step up. I don't think this is the spot where I'm going to test Gobert just yet, but Gobert is one of those elite rim protectors, and if you can draw him out with some mid-range, long-range shooters, some stretch fives per se, maybe Horford kind of stuns some people, but that's just speaking from a long shot tournament standpoint. I'm not really going to get too far behind that. On FanDuel, Jordan Clarkson, I still think always has upside at 4,500. Mike Conley at 63. Could I get 35 fantasy points as a potential floor, and then could I push 40 plus? I think it's possible, but I'd have to be at 100 or 150 lineups to kind of push that issue. And then of course Donovan Mitchell's the main guy for me. We're seeing a lot more ball handling responsibilities out of him. He's 7-9 on FanDuel. The minutes should be deep enough for him. Is he a strong correlation run back to like a SGA? I think it's there. I think we could see Utah Jazz get completely fizzled out of ownership today, single digits or less. I think SGA will still pick up some ownership just because who he is. And then on DraftKings, George Hill, I think, has to be thought of as one of those, kind of like the Joe Harris price. Is his role with this team enough to say that maybe he should be over 5K this season? He shot an extremely efficient 89%, perfect from behind the arc. Obviously, that's anomalic. No one's going to shoot at that tick, but as a scorer, George Hill the scorer, right? You don't think of Landry Shamet like that. Is George Hill somebody that's going to be a solid second option to like an SGA? I don't know. It's hard to kind of figure out confidently what to do with the Thunder past SGA. 219 total, large spread. If you're Xing out a game, it's this game. But is there anything other than SGA that you are doing with this game, Mr. Hot Take?
Do I love anything this game? Rudy Gobert is cheap. 70. He's one of these 7K guys that can get you 50 DK, points. So I mean, if you want to build, skip out on the Harden Jokic and get Gobert, SGA, and Ja, just kind of those 7-8K guys, I don't hate it. He's giving you mid-40s. No one on OKC is going to stop him. I mean, Al Horford should struggle against him. Yeah, kind of like Gobert here.
Also, Royce O'Neal. Now, this is purely a minutes thing. I would never say play him in like single entry or cash. But actually, I was backed against the wall and making 100 lineups on was it Christmas? And he got 34 minutes. And for FanDuel's sake, it was a good stocking stuffer. So maybe one of these days, the 34 minutes lands into it, a couple extra blocks and steals. But we're talking 100, 150 lineups, nothing short field. Blake Timothy, Tyler Johnson, and the Raul Neto of tonight. Raul Neto exceeded any expectation.
3,100, and he just gets there.
He didn't just get there. I think he almost matched Beal, for crying out loud. He was going bananas. I was like, yeah, I like Neto, but I'd probably take the same minutes from Ish Smith or whatever, and that wasn't the case. Yeah, Neto went ballistic. Frank Bishop said SGA Hart, yes. Horford will pull Gobert away from the rim. It's very possible. I'll go back to Horford for some shares. His ownership will be low. We want to see Horford's shot at volume to go up to even just trust that he's going to pull Gobert away consistently. But I still think Bazley, Dort, SGA for this team to thrive, the Thunder that is. I think Dort and Bazley are going to have to become players that are priced higher than they are today. Echo. Thugga Thuggin, best power forward overall. I'm probably going to see Christian Wood. Yeah, probably Christian Wood for now. All right, let's move on to the next game. Denver Nuggets hosting the Houston Rockets. The project starting five for the Rockets: James Harden, Sterling Brown, Daniel House, PJ Tucker, Christian Wood, taking on Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Michael Porter Jr., Paul Millsap, and Nikola Jokic. We got a 2-2-2 and another 1-2 total, 6.5 point spread in favor of the home team Denver Nuggets. I wonder if that spread has actually moved a little bit, just because I've heard people talking about how that could blow out. Let's see, NBA Vegas odds. First thing off the bat here, James Harden, Christian Wood were like the two highest owned guys the other day, and it absolutely works. So if you're on the wrong side of chalk that night, it is what it is. 6.5 point spread. Spread actually went from 8 to 6.5. So maybe people got a little overzealous of what the Rockets did against the Blazers. I don't know. But James Harden's 11-2 on DraftKings, 11-5 on FanDuel. With so much volume that's on this slate, so much volume, so much value, the volume of value that's on this slate, it's really hard to push back on like a free 60. Like even if right now, if you think James Harden scores 60, and I think that's his floor, like you're probably just going to take it because it's so easy to go get it. And I think that's what you're going to see in your cash games, your single entry, stuff like that. And then past him is Christian Wood, 8-1 for Wood on FanDuel, 7-2 on DraftKings. I mean, 40-plus fantasy points seems like a realistic range of outcomes there. I think there are some, potential, hey, what if you got in foul trouble against Jokic, something like that? Maybe you start playing with that idea. Maybe
he needs to get you 50. Like 40's not getting it done today.
But is it though? On FanDuel maybe, but I still think that like it's there for him. Like, but I think Harden is one of those raw points equal raw points once you get over the 60 fantasy point threshold on this slate. But yeah, a couple of those guys at the 40 range. I mean, now you start 1v1ing like with the plus minus 1K salary of like a SGA, of a Ja Morant, guys like that. Yeah, there's a range of outcomes where Christian Wood in the altitude or whatever just like doesn't do that. But I still think he's a super strong play. Like my soft projections, especially on DraftKings, put him at 43.5 at 7,200. Yeah, I'll take that. Past him, guys like Jayshawn Tate, I got at 30 minutes. Daniel House at 30 minutes. I mean, this is just a conglomerate of 4 to 5K value all across the board when you think about the Pistons, the Thunder, and now the Rockets. But it becomes less concrete. So I guess the two questions I would have when you start breaking this game down: one, does it stay competitive? And two, Jokic is 9,800 on DK, 10K on FanDuel. I mean, so far he is just looking like a beast. This dates back into preseason. I don't know if it's because he didn't go home during the COVID offseason or what, but he's been looking like a manimal in the first two games, and this Rockets front court should give him no problems. Very, very plausible that he's going to get you a triple-double should this game be a 15 or less point spread. So I think we'll start with that. How much Jokic, and do you think this game stays competitive?
I think I probably like in 70% of my James Harden lines, I'm playing Jokic because the only way James Harden gets there is if this game stays close, and Jokic, he's just going to dominate. Like there's nobody on Houston that can even think about stopping him. So should lead the charge here. Does it stay close? I feel like it blows out. I just think again, like Portland's. I feel like that game should have blown out. How James Harden is just again wizard. I respect Denver more. I think they're a better team than Portland. Deeper team. This just screams like it's just so easy to get in Harden with all this value. It just screams blowout. Again, I think Mavs not quite what the Mavs did to the Clippers, but I wouldn't be shocked if this game's over at the third quarter and Denver's up by 25-30. So with James Harden, I probably won't have more than.
I don't know, man.
40%?
Yeah. Stop the annoying noise in the background. Sounds like he's scraping on something. I think your mic's rubbing against your shirt. Yeah. Y'all are complaining about what, man? What's going on? 11.2 with all his value is free, my guy. Yeah, raw points. If you're getting 60-plus raw points, even 70-plus raw points for free, I'm taking it. What do you guys think of playing Grant for the Pistons? I think he's super rock-solid play. I don't really see him getting less than value. I think there's still a ceiling attached. Grain of salt the minutes because they went to a pair of extra innings, but yeah. Murray season, Jamal Murray. So here's one that I'm curious about because in years past, I've played Gary Harris against James Harden, and it's worked. So I'm kind of maybe I slipped on the last couple games. TKP by game log versus James Harden. Last 10 games. He's really cheap on both sites. Okay, it's went down, but this 42, I played him that day, and it just I remember that, but 20 plus, there's nothing to write home about. So I do like guards against this Rockets team. I think we haven't seen that big game from Murray just yet. I think this is absolutely ripe for the picking. I think Michael Porter Jr., 5'9" on FanDuel, 6'5" on DraftKings. Michael Porter's been more of a defensive liability, and Mike Malone likes to sit him when he's in a bad defensive spot. I don't think he's in a bad defensive spot if he crosses up Daniel House, Sterling Brown, PJ Tucker, right? I think Harden's going to get Gaz Harris and Jamal Murray, guys like that. So Michael Porter Jr. could go out there and absolutely go ballistic and see even deeper minutes than we've seen him play. He played 23 minutes that last game, and like we said, he got sat down. 30 minutes against Sacramento. He has 40-plus point potential, and I think, don't forget he exists today on FanDuel. He is a small forward as well. Small forward, low-key deep. Karis LeVert, Michael Porter, Jeremy Grant. Small forward might be the way to win this slate today. Will Barton's also right there at a similar price point. Look, Jeremy Grant's still in a Nugget jersey. Will Barton, 6,200, 5,800. This is kind of one of those pace spot that's going to really reward these forward guards that can score. So maybe this is a game where he steps up and goes off. But yeah, I think the Nuggets are all guys I could grab 2 Nuggets in lineups and feel okay. I think Jokic and Porter, the first 2 I'm digging. But man, is it surprising if Jamal Murray finally has his game? We've been waiting on it. Last couple games against Harden, Jamal Murray, 23 and 35. Wow.
I just think Jokic is on such a roll.
Yeah, I'm with it on Jokic. With 20 lineups, like where are you at on how much Harden do you have versus how much Jokic do you have? Is it just?
I have like 80% of my, like, if I have 100% Harden, I'd have 80% Jokic.
Oh, you think like a fish, bro? Hate to tell you, why is this kid showed up hating on me? You want to? I don't know. You want a head-to-head, a couple $100?
Yeah, talk
Jeff
about
Jones? Think like a fish.
Anytime, any place, twice on Sundays.
You would just pick a site. Send me $100 head-to-head.
And like my Harden ownership, I'm going to stick to like 50%. I don't think I'm going anymore. I just really like the kind of this 8K, getting multiple 8K guys. And I think the Harden thing's going to be so popular. And a lot of times to take down a GPP, it's just ownership matters. Like we saw what happened last game. Like he went off, Chris went off.
Yeah, no. The last game he was a smash play no matter what. But I think it was just because of the strong correlation between handcuffing him to like Christian Wood. I mean, this is such a unique spot.
I think Christian Wood might go a little under owned. 7,200, like DK price. Do people are they running to click that?
I think he's still a strong play at 7.
I think
DK on FanDuel, you might even have a deeper thought, but I still think he's a strong.
Yeah,
play.
He's one of those 7K guys that can get you 50. I mean, he did that last game. I mean, he's going to see, like, he's starting next to Tucker. So I want to say Tucker sees more Jokic. And Christian Wood is more of a...
No, yeah, Tucker's a midget, bro. He's not... Stop.
I swear he guarded him last year.
I mean, I'm sure that he'll have to switch up on him, but I'm not running to that. Jayshawn Tate off the bench, 4,100 on DK, 4,200 on FanDuel. I don't mind like him. I played him in that first game just because like I project him at a decent enough minutes that like you got to do something. So if he's gonna hit 37 minutes of opportunity, that's a lot of minutes at that price point. Sure, 4,200, I'll take it. Raj loves Wood. Denver's deeper than Portland. Raj, you're killing me. Yeah, Raj is full of it today, right? Dylan Brooks' price on FanDuel is ridiculously low. I'm all of the Dylan Brooks on FanDuel. Murray season. So I'm actually kind of shocked that Jamal Murray's game log against the Rockets is this bad. Anything could happen, but man, his highest fantasy point game against the Rockets in his last 10 games is 35 fantasy points. So, for whatever reason, there's 30 minutes. 30,
I mean, we have to remember, like, when he was having those amazing playoff drop of 40, 50 a game, like, Will Barton was out.
Yeah, just give me Jokic and Porter. I really like Porter. I think Porter, one thing I think is possible, and I'm not saying it's going to happen or even it's likely, but I think there's a range of outcome that Porter might outscore Christian Wood today. Because I think there's less get benched opportunity for bad defense against Tucker, House, and Sterling Brown.
What do you do? What if it's like 1v1 Porter versus Baisley?
I'd still go Porter. I think right now you give me 30 minutes of Porter versus Baisley, I'm taking Porter. But like I think on projection wise, Wood's going to outscore Porter. But I think range of outcomes in tournaments, there's a shot for Porter to be the better play. What's up with everyone talking smack? Hey man, he's just going to hate. Yo, we were pushing 200 live viewers. Can we get to 80 likes, man? Hit that thumbs up. Show some love. And hopefully that thumbs up gives you some good karma. You'll come back and be strong tonight. Hey, in about 30 minutes, I'm going to be in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord. Voice chat will be in here, waiting on you guys and talking with you guys, just talking to plays one-on-one, digesting news that comes out. So if you guys want to be part of that, it is a premium perk at RunDFS.com. Get yourself signed up. Try it a week pass. Go to that onboarding thread. That's going to unlock access to the VIP spreadsheet, my player projections. I have projections for DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo. And then, of course, I'll have my worksheet, my tiers for both FanDuel and DraftKings. What I'm doing, you don't have to tail it. You don't have to go off of it. If you just be like, oh, where's Gun at on this person? You look over there. And then if you had questions specifically, you just type in Discord. Or you grab a mic. You join the conversation. You chat it up. What's his name? I forgot his name. Whoever said I was trash. If you think I'm trash, come into Discord and tell me why I'm thinking wrong, We love to chop it up. It's okay to not think like me. I'm not a genius, right? It's okay to think differently. That's the beauty of DFS. So go be part of that. It's a good way to support the stream, support the site. Go to RunDFS.com. Get yourself signed up. Main event tonight, the Portland Trail Blazers at the Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers are on night 2 of a back-to-back. Blazers project starting 5, Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Derek Jones Jr., Robert Covington, Yusuf Nurkic. I live at a train station. Up against Dennis Schroeder, Contavious Caldwell-Pope, LeBron James, maybe Anthony Davis, Marc Gasol. AD took the night off last night. Up in the air on what LBJ does tonight. We got a 226 total, 3.5 point spread. This game will probably just not exist generally with ownership, right? Unless we knew right now LeBron's out, and then maybe that pushes some AD ownership. Or even Dennis Schroeder ownership. Like, this game could be really, really low owned.
The Lakers let everyone down last night, too.
Did they let everyone down, or did they just
no one got there?
Stop.
Yeah,
they steamrolled the Timberwolves. So stop
with
that.
Yeah, but player, like, fantasy-wise. We're talking fantasy. We're talking about real. We're talking fantasy here.
Yeah, but no. But you're not thinking. Think, McFly. Think.
No.
They didn't let everyone down. The Timberwolves let everyone down. But we didn't know Cat was out at main lock anyway, so stop. They just went bananas, and there was nothing. What's next? The Mavs let everyone down because they smacked the Clippers by 50.
The Clippers definitely let us down. Trash,
bro.
George.
I'm glad that wasn't on the main slate. And Chad, I don't know if you guys caught that, but my goodness,
just imagine 80% Paul George. Loot all the guys.
On a showdown, absolutely. Anyway, so if you're watching news for this game, keep an eye on LeBron James. It's undecided whether or not he's playing. It is a back-to-back. The fact that AD was out yesterday, maybe there's a chance that they stagger rest there. And the fact that it's still kind of a tight spread. Because for what it's worth, the Blazers have looked awful through 2 games. So, like, just absolutely overratedly awful. So if the Lakers are going to be full strength, maybe this spread's more than 3.5, right? Maybe Vegas is just kind of setting himself up for somebody to be out. But I think right now when we're planning for this game, we just assume everyone's in. Dennis Schroeder, I think, is an okay play if everyone's in. I think it becomes a really good play if LeBron is out. So I don't mind that at all. And then Montrezl Harrell, 62 on FanDuel. He's still in play. 7.5 on DK. Like, you can't even consider Montrezl.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's just an absurd price for him.
Like, there's no way I'm playing Trezl over Christian Wood right now, right?
If Trez wins you a tournament, all the power to you.
And I love Montrez. That's my homie, but
Montrezl should never be priced above 6K. Like, that's like his price. If guys are out, sure, but
man, look at all this. Okay, Dean. Yo, Sean with the 199. What do you think about Darius Bazley? I do think going forward, Bazley has a chance to be a near 6K player. I don't know, like, this matchup is going to extract like the most upside, but I do like Bazley generally speaking. So I might have some shots at Bazley today just because I do think he might be underpriced for what his role with this team is now that it's SGA and everyone else. But yeah, hey Dean with Danielle's OnlyFans fund, $4.99.
Yeah, that's Listen here, buddy. Eyes only, boys.
If we set that up, it's gonna be more than $4.99. Okay.
Talk about it.
Yeah, man. Y'all help me out with them thumbs up. All right, what do you do with this game? Dame Dollar and CJ McCollum just absolutely was nutty in that last game. I don't know if that went under the radar just because it was the late game and everyone wasn't paying attention. But he dropped 66 fantasy points on 44 real points. The matchup is going to be a lot stronger than the Rockets G League team, right?
Yeah.
And not an extra inning, but 8,100. He's there. I've always hated to play CJ at that price point, especially if Lillard was in. Like, I feel like if I ever put Lillard and McCollum together for 20K, like I don't feel like I'm getting 120 fantasy points.
Your upside's just capped. Yeah, they're not going to blow the doors off that. It's tough to play him. You have Ja Morant at that same price. You have Shea Alexander at the same price. So he's going to go on the road again. I mean, again, this game's just a 4-game slate. Cross this one off. If CJ does.
All right, right now, if I tell you LeBron's out, is it still a 4-game slate to you, or do you like, oh man, AD at 10?
If LeBron's out, I don't even think I get to AD, more so Schroeder.
Okay.
And other than that, I don't think I really play much of anyone else. I'd get some Schroeder.
Kuzma went bananas yesterday too. He's 4,200 on FanDuel. A little stronger price on DK. You're telling me if LeBron's out right now, and you might get AD at under 15%. You're chilling.
Portland, they should score a ton. I mean, give me some Schroeder. I think his upside gets boosted a bunch. AD at that price. I mean, he's still at that like 1v1 Jokic. Jokic, is it even a better matchup? I think Portland might be the better matchup. Could be interesting, but LeBron is considered questionable. That's a tough one.
That might be news that doesn't happen until like.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I mean, you just take the safer bet with Jokic.
No. Yeah, I'm on Jokic now, but I'm just saying like that's where the field's at, right? All right, see what you guys got in chat. Chat, if you guys have any lasting questions, comments, concerns, drop them in the live chat. Otherwise, if you're hitting the door, hit that thumbs up before you go. And if you haven't subscribed, just check to see if that red button's down there. We've already passed 5K subscribers. We're trying to start the grind to 6K. I'm going to scroll up a little bit, try and catch up on some stuff that I missed. And yeah. What up, Anthony? Sekou Doumbé time. I can get down with that. Jaden Bailey. What's up, Jaden? I have Vert and Grant small forward thoughts. I think those are really, really strong. I also like Michael Porter Jr. there. What up, Kyle? You guys okay with totally fading the OKC game? I would want to have some SGA. But like if I had to not have any of it, like if I'm limited in lineups, I don't think it's crazy, right? I don't think anyone's a priority for me on Utah. So yeah, I think it would be okay. Like I do think you have to start cutting off a couple of games here. So if you end up with none of that, it's fine. How about Kuzma if LeBron don't play, he can smash? I definitely like Kuzma on FanDuel a little bit more. 18 says Guns voice do be sexy. It do be. Apparently, never mind. Is Discord free? No, for Discord's a premium perk. Gun, what do you think about the Bucks this year? Come on, buddy. Shout out to Damron. What is the data site where you can see past scores versus team? That is a free site, statmuse.com. It's a wonderful, wonderful tool. I would say don't over rely on it, but it's good to have like quick reference history on what a player has been able to do against a team or another player. But I love it. I can't even focus on the analysis with Gun's face in front of me. Listen here, buddy. Kuzma did good on FanDuel. Yeah, Kuzma was really strong yesterday. And to think it was a blowout, right? Kuzma ain't starting. He's not starting now. But, like, if LeBron was out, maybe things shake up a little bit to where he would get more minutes. AD gets some more run at the fire. Something like that, right? Let's have a discussion about how well Raj does in DFS with his takes and how easy he kills plays. Not time. Why would I sub to the... Yo, this Jeff guy. Jeff, please.
Jeff, did I, like, accidentally sleep with your girlfriend or something?
Sorry. Like, why are we so negative, Jeff? But, if I'm that much of a fist, my name on both sites is the same. $100 head-to-head, little head-to-head. Just send it to me. Then, we'll see. After Harden, who's your next favorite pay-up? Jokic. Tyler Johnson ham tonight? Maybe. I do think behind the Nets are still sneaky deep with those three guys out. That like Bruce Brown could be that guy, right? Luau could be that guy. Tyler Johnson, like it's still a deep team that's annoying to predict. Landry Shamet could be that guy. Chris Chiozza could be that. Like it's so deep that's annoying, and I think a lot of people are kind of forgetting how deep the Nets really are, right? Jeff Green, maybe. Jeff is angry. Morant or Jokic or both? Jokic first, then Morant. I like the idea of Morant. I think Morant has I think he has meat on the bone. Maybe not a lot of meat on the bone considering, how maybe suppressed the matchup just got. But I definitely think he could drop 50 easily at that price point. But Jokic is at an extremely, extremely nice matchup if he dropped one of those 60-point triple-doubles, I'm a buyer. I definitely think I hate to say a floor of a triple-double, but I'm looking at this matchup. I don't see how he doesn't get double-digit rebounds, and there's no pushback defensively. So I'm all about some Jokic. So Jokic for sure, 1. Millsap, 35 real points. Yep. I can see MPJ beast tonight. He might even play blowout minutes as well. Possible. I agree. I think Michael Porter Jr.'s minutes have been a little bit glass ceilinged because he gets benched for defensive mishaps. Mike Malone will bench him if he's not playing strong defense. And I don't think he's going to get exposed today with Daniel House, with PJ Tucker, guys like that. So, yeah. Jeff Micro, okay, buddy. House or Hunter on DK? House Hunters. Are we talking DeAndre Hunter? Probably House, just for the minutes. I think DeAndre has a lot more competition. Yeah, probably House. But that's not like a comfortable play or call. Wood or Trey? Christian Wood for floor, Trey Young for ceiling. Jokic's going to go bananas, yeah. I agree. What up, Nick? Got Plumlee. I like Plumlee as well, but I do think Plumlee maybe doesn't have a 40 to 50 in him here. We'll see. Harden, Wood is a must play again. Harden for me, yes. Wood on DraftKings, I think, is still super solid. Like, if my soft projections can get you to 6x, I'm happy. On FanDuel, I think there's a little bit more pushback, but I also think there's enough value at small forward shooting guard that I could just take Christian Wood and be happy. I already know Damron's clipping that statement. I can just take Christian Wood. Okay. And then power forward isn't as deep as the other positions, right? So even if I'm overpaying for like a 38 from Christian Wood, I probably take it. Yes, I probably take. God dang it. You're trash, buddy. Is Jeff Jones just like another Touts burner account? Chad, do I just ban this guy or what? Like, we're so positive here, and this guy's just been so negative for no reason.
I figured it out. Jeff got curved by Daniela.
Okay, listen here.
And then he's mad. He's upset. It's understandable, Jeff. It's okay.
Whiteside safe drop points league, right? To drop Whiteside in a points league, yeah, probably. Unless like somebody gets injured in that front court, even then I'm not. Yeah, I would probably. If that league doesn't like heavily weight blocks and stuff like that, in this current role, I wouldn't really consider Whiteside a priority to hang on to. Joe Val over 30 minutes. I got him right at 30 minutes. I think that's what I control F Valanciunas. Where we at? 409. I got time. Valanciunas. I've got J Val. Let me just put Val. Hello. I've got him at 29.5, so right at 30. I think he could get more than 30, but I wouldn't project it. I banked the GPP with both Dame and CJ. Doesn't happen often. At these prices, I don't think it do. There was a time when CJ McCollum was just like a 6K guy. And then, yeah. Wood or Trey. Okay, we did that one. Jeff Jones, the punk. Kick out Jeff. Goodbye, Jeff. My name is Jeff. My lineup is Morant, George Hill, Harden, DeLon Wright, Jeremy Grant, Josh Jackson, Christian Wood, the Knicks power forward, and Plumlee. The Knicks power forward? Who? Oh, you're talking about for season long. Okay.
I was going to say.
Oh, Julius Randle? Okay. Jeff's actually AD. Yeah, maybe. Tatum, Allen, or Jackson and Plumlee. Ooh, probably Jackson and Plumlee for floor. Even for both, really. Because Tate needed like 37 minutes to be average. Allen, we're kind of banking on opportunity here. Allen, I still think needs a little bit of help to set up a play. But Josh Jackson, if that's who you're talking about, without Derrick Rose, I think there could be 25. If I get 20 minutes of Josh Jackson, it's very likely I'm getting 25 fantasy points as a floor, so I'll take that. I think Plumlee's a point per minute too. Harden SGA or Jokic Trae Young. For floor, I'm probably going Harden SGA. In tournaments, I like the thought of Trae Young. One thing to think about with all these weapons that the Hawks are getting back, Trae Young's assists should really, really be able to fly. Sub Gun, what up, Eric? Tate and Allen, yep. Jeff is Dale. That might be. What up, Greg the Bowler? What are your thoughts on Capella? I wanna see him play minutes. I think you got to remember Capella is more of a dunker, right? Somebody's got to help him with his shots. He's not going to shoot jumpers. He's not going to hit free throws at a high clip. He's just going to dunk and get rebounds. And to be gone for as long as he's been gone, like, do we expect him to play 32 minutes off the rip? It's possible, but do we expect that? I probably don't. So I think I got him at 25 minutes. His price is really low. He still might get you a really cheap double-double, but maybe I just lean to, like, maybe a Mason Plumlee at that price point. So I don't know. I don't have a high like, I feel like there's a glass ceiling there just because of, potential minutes, right? Harry Giles with Melo out. What? What up, Gun? This is 6 years watching your streams, man. I appreciate it. Is McCollum under-owned on FanDuel to pair him with Harden? Under-owned versus what? Under-owned versus the range of outcomes that he's the best play? Maybe. I think he's still single-digit percentage, so he's only under-owned if he's a great play. Otherwise, I think it's hard to project him well. Think about what that Blazers saw in that Rockets defense. It was a G League defense. James Harden at his best day, still not an average defender, right? So it's a G League defense, and they still struggled. I definitely think the defense improves no matter who's in or out in that Lakers team. So I would taper my expectations on chasing that McCollum game. Ken Capella says he's limited to minutes in the 20s. Yeah, I'm out on that, dude. I just need ceiling, right? Just entering chat. How many Pistons would be too many? I'd probably not want to have more than 3. If I wanted to pick 3, I think it's a combination of DeLon Wright and Josh Jackson, Mason Plumlee, and who am I missing? Oh, Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant's 1. How much DeLon Wright do you guys have? I probably cap him at 20. We'll see what happens. That is very much subject to change as we go forward. Man, 270 live viewers. Almost don't want to leave, but I have to. Because in 15 minutes, I got to be in the live chat in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP Discord. And you guys are welcome to come hang out with us. It's a premium perk, though. How much? I have 3 Pistons. Wright or Jackson or both? Probably both.
DeLon Wright, baby.
As long as Josh Jackson's coming off the bench, I don't think it's that negatively correlated. Tar and Prince value, possible, but Prince is probably still not going to be someone that's scoring a lot. I think Prince's big tournament games, ceiling games, are going to be with lots of steals, blocks, rebounds, stuff like that. I still think he can get a bucket, but
he probably starts though.
He could. Like, I don't know what. I want to see what Steve Nash. Yeah. Once I see the starting lineup, then I can kind of guess. Because I still think Jared Allen is just lurking. Can you fade Harden for AD on DK? Like, you could, but you would be sweating every inch of it. And I just don't know. I don't know how Harden isn't just 60 fantasy points no matter what. No matter what. So I'm just going to go there. I guess, you can make a case for Murray and Gary Harris defense, but it's James Harden. James Harden, DKP by game log versus Nuggets. Let's go last 10 games against the Nuggets. See what happens. 44, 54, 50, 59, 58. So he's got 160 that came in 2019. 37, 32, 37. Obviously, none of this will really compare to the situation that he has right now, being that there's no other than Christian Wood. There's not really an NBA scorer on this team. So it is what it is. In a 1v1, there's definitely a range of outcomes that AD scores more than James Harden. And there's still a potential for LeBron James to just be out. So that's why I was posing the question. If you knew right now LBJ was out, is AD dropping 60, right? It's possible. Nurkic at 6,800. I don't have any Nurkic right now. Can you Murray, Josh? Yeah, that's what Russ and CP3. Yeah, and there's other guys in the mix too. So is what it is. I appreciate you guys watching live. What is tomorrow's slate? NBA schedule. Usually we go live a little bit earlier, but today was a smaller slate. So tomorrow, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 game slate. So tomorrow, look for the 3 p.m. live stream, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, and then hopefully at least a core plays video for DraftKings or FanDuel, if not both. Otherwise, man, I've really had a lot of fun today. We've definitely beat our live viewership record for the last couple years. So shout out to you guys. If you guys want to interact with me a little bit more, twitter.com/GundackerSports is how you can do it. Other than that, I will be in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord almost 24/7. If you guys don't mind, hit that like button on your way out. Wow, we might even get close to 100. And then if you guys jump in that Discord and want to hang out with us, I'll be in the live chat up until lock, digesting news, stuff like that, chopping it up. There's a lot of big-time players here. I've said it before. I'll say it again. There's people at all different bankroll levels. 3 weeks ago now? Always be placing, literally won the millionaire maker. He's a millionaire in this chat, just chopping it up with us. Jake has won the 100Ks on DraftKings last day of the regular season last season. Adine has won the 100K. Like, there's big time winners, but there's also guys like Sid grinding in the quarter arcades every day. So it don't matter. Then we got single entry Sharks, Young C. Is whatever you play, whatever stake you play at, there's somebody in here grinding on the same level. And this isn't like Jeff. This is a toxic free root for everyone community. And now they like to catch Pokemon too. So come be part of that. We'd love to have you. Go to rundfs.com, get signed up, get yourself a VIP pass. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I love you. Good luck. God bless. And go win some money.